Hello and thank you for joining us for 8 News at 11. I'm Olivia Jaquith. Panic at Essex County High School. Shots were fired and 2 sheriff's deputies assaulted at last night's football game. 8 News reporter Talia Cunningham has the details after speaking with someone who was there. The CDC reversed course last week, recommending that people in areas of high transmission of COVID-19 wear those masks indoors, regardless of whether they're vaccinated. Here at home, Governor Ralph Northam followed suit, but it still isn't a requirement. Another football game in Suffolk was also canceled last night. Just after 8:30, there was a disturbance related to fights at Lakeland High School. Although posts on social media referenced a shooting, police say no shots were fired. Officials made the decision to evacuate the stadium and cancel the rest of the game. No injuries were reported. The CDC is now recommending booster shots for millions of Americans who received the Pfizer vaccine. Among those eligible are the immunocompromised, as well as those over 65 and frontline workers. This includes teachers, daycare providers, and grocery and healthcare workers. Well, Deanna, one local voter has lots of questions after she went to cast her ballot this morning and was told she had already voted. Police are saying that approximately 50 vases were stolen from graves at that cemetery on West 100 Road in Chester, but the general manager at the Memorial Park tells me it was even more, affecting about 80 families whose loved ones are buried there. So far, I'm told no suspect information has been released. Neighbors describe the area of Point Hollow Drive as a quiet one where everyone was friendly. That's why they were so shocked to learn about this tragic incident. Now, Juan Urea tells me that empanadas speak to everyone, regardless of what you call them. Think about it. In Italy, they have calzones. In the UK, they call them pasties. But the food is what brings people together. Dinwiddie Generals were looking to keep their undefeated streak alive against the 7-1 Thomas Dale Knights as they head into the playoffs. Of course, for Thomas Dale, there was a senior night win on the line here, but for Dinwiddie, of course, that's the only team with a perfect record in our area this season. Let's take a look. Andre Xavier and his wife Charlie were getting ready to open a brewery with their business partner out in Gordonsville. Hoping to make it a family-friendly business, the mom of 2 was working on the final touches for the kids area when there was an explosion. She was given a low chance of survival, and now she's fighting for her life here in Richmond. Third-degree burns on 85% of her body, all from a tragic accident. Charlie Xavier and her husband Andre were preparing to open Patch Brewery when something went wrong.
She was sanding the wood frame. Last thing I know is she kind of lost her balance a little bit. She dropped the sander, and then there was a spark. Most horrific thing I can imagine one going through. But Charlie, she was really strong. She was able to crawl out of that fire. She stood up, and she took a few steps, and she rolled, and she put out the fire herself.
Andre says the mom of 2 was flown by helicopter from Gordonsville to VCU's burn unit in Richmond. Now hospitalized for 17 days, he says his wife is undergoing daily surgeries to keep her alive.
I still don't know what life is going to be for us. I just don't know because, Charlie's still at risk. Infection now is the concern. I know she has a very, very long road, painful road recovery.
Andre says they're trying to keep life as normal as possible for their 4-year-old and 9-month-old boys. And although Charlie's condition has stabilized, the future remains unknown.
Charlie, she is just aware she's being intubated on and off, but I can read her lips, so when she talks, so that's how we communicate, and she can hear me. Now, Andre tells me that life as his family knew it is behind them, but through all this darkness, the outpouring of love and support from the community has been a source of light for them. According to bystanders and the Essex County Sheriff's Office, several shots were fired last night, first in the parking lot and then near the softball field. And then moments later, authorities say 2 cars drove by, firing more gunshots toward the school, a scene that left families fearing for their lives. It was a normal Friday night football game under the lights until things turned dark.
In the third quarter, 2nd down.
Gunshots rang out at Essex County High School just before 8:30 during the third quarter between Essex and King and Queen County.
I think it took 3 or 4 shots before everybody realized what's going on, and then everybody started running.
Jason Lax took this video from the press box where he was filming for King and Queen. His son plays for the Royal Tigers. His wife Tressie and 3 daughters also at the game.
I had just sent my 13-year-old daughter to go get a drink with a group of friends at the concession stand, and she was all the way on the other side of the field, which made it, I couldn't lay my eyes on her, and that was the hard thing.
This video, sent to 8 News by a King and Queen County parent, shows the Tigers lining up for a drive.
In the third quarter, second down.
And then the crowd running for cover as the first shots were fired. Amid the chaos, Tressie found her daughters and then picked up the phone.
I called my mom because at that moment I just thought that this was an active shooter. Like, I just thought this was another school shooting, someone out here that's just ready to take out people, and I called her to tell her that I loved her.
Now, at this time, the Essex County Sheriff's Office says no bystanders were hurt. However, 2 deputies were treated for minor injuries from the fight that happened before gunfire. A juvenile from Northumberland County is currently in custody and facing multiple charges, and authorities have identified several other persons of interest. As of this week, only about 3% of the products that you'd normally expect to find on the shelves at a Virginia ABC store are completely out of stock. But I'm told that the biggest months for sales are October, November, and December, raising concerns about keeping up with supply issues as well as demand as we head into the holiday season. The shelves seem pretty well stocked at this Virginia ABC location on Gaskins Road, but if you look closely, there are gaps where bottles of liquor should be.
The alarm bells start going off if it's getting too tight.
A liquor shortage impacting your ability to buy certain products at ABC stores throughout the Commonwealth, especially imports like cognac, scotch, Irish whiskey, and even some tequilas.
It's not that there's a shortage of actual juice or spirit that you can drink and have fun with.
Reservoir Distillery co-founder David Cutino says the problem isn't that there isn't enough liquor.
It's just how does it get to the consumer, and where we're really short on right now is enclosures.
But there have been global supply chain disruptions over the course of the coronavirus pandemic, making it difficult to get bottles for the liquor or caps to close them. And of course, shipping issues.
We work from January to September, getting ready for October, November, December. Going through the holidays this year, yeah, it's going to be tight, and I think where you're really going to see a lot of the pain is just in the logistics costs, especially when everybody wants to have things shipped.
And a spike in sales even before the holidays is also contributing to this shortage. In fact, Taylor Thornburg with Virginia ABC tells me that their suppliers are indicating if current sale trends continue, the liquor industry isn't likely to go back to normal until the middle of 2022.